Hey guys, welcome back to the Music Hole. My name is Cole, and I'm very excited today because this is one of my favorite albums. I just love listening to it so much. It's so much fun. There's just so many great guitar hooks on it, so many great songs. Although I do want to say, I will admit, this album has two singers, and the second singer, who's on like 4 or 5 songs, I'm not necessarily fond of. I would have liked it if they just stuck to the guy who sang their big hit, which was called Name. But it's not a huge deal. I mean, every song is good to great, and even the ones with the second singer, which aren't spectacular, are still pretty fun. So mostly this album does a great job, in my opinion. But anyway, so I'm excited to talk about it. I hope you guys find it interesting. So let's dive in to track number 1, which is one of my favorites. It's called Long Way Down. Again, just the guitar hooks are just so immediate and catchy. I just love it. But the song is kind of sad in terms of what it's about, because it sounds like there's a guy who had a really rough childhood or something, right? And it really screwed up his mind. So he's mentally just kind of unstable, and he's like fighting a battle with his own thoughts, is what it sounds like. So there's a part of him that's the normal part of him that wants to break out and take control of this guy's body. But the main personality inhabiting this guy's brain and train of thought is just negative, because he's been through a lot. He's probably from a broken home or something. So that's what the song makes me think of, is two battling personalities and the bad one is winning. But I do have a second clip from this song with some more lyrics that I want to play for you guys. So let's check it out.
I never put you down. I never pushed you away. Take another piece of me. Give my mind a new disease. And the black and white world never fades to gray. Long way down. I don't think I'll make it on my long way down. I don't wanna live in here alone. Long way down.
Yeah, so it sounds like this guy's in a relationship and the woman is just so in love with him, but she's also really frustrated because this guy is so damaged and he's refusing to show love and affection back to her, really. Because on the previous clip, he said something like, when you take me, or when I take you, I'm not there. And what they mean by that is that, like, when they're having sex, the guy is just not really in the moment. Like, it's kind of just, there's no emotion behind it, right? This guy is kind of just living his life, going through the motions, but he doesn't really feel anything. So this woman, for whatever reason, is just totally in love with this guy. But as I mentioned, he's not giving any love in return. So she's like, just cut me off before it kills me, right? So this poor woman picked the wrong guy. But I guess she's one of those women who dates a damaged person and tries to fix them. And of course, most of the time, they're unable to fix them. But I guess there's a weird, maybe fetishy thing that goes on with a lot of women where they like to try to mend a broken soul. But anyway, so that's Long Way Down. It's a really catchy song, one of many. That's all I want to say about it. So let's move on to track 2, which features our second singer, and is probably the best song that he's on, frankly. I really like it. It's called Burning Up, so let's check it out.
Said you're burning up inside. No one seems to tell. You're living from a personal life, manual from hell. Life seems pretty easy when it's from my easy chair. And you're burning up inside and no one cares.
Yeah, so again, we've got our guy who's just a tortured soul. He's been through a lot. We don't know exactly what, but it wasn't good, clearly. And this other person is looking at him from his easy chair, as he puts it, and he's wondering, like, why the heck is this guy so messed up? You know, why can't he get his life together? But our main character is just burning up inside, as he says. And the reality of life is that no one cares about your problems, right? As the guy sings, you know, you're burning up inside and no one cares. And it's just so true. Like, unless you're family or a really, really good friend, literally 99.9999% of people could care less about your problems and your woes and your financial troubles and your love troubles and whatever else it is, right? So most of us kind of get that, and we smile through the day, we smile through our pain, and we pretend we're fine because, you know, unleashing, inventing our frustrations to random people literally does nothing, right? Doesn't make us feel good. They don't care, blah, blah, blah. So I dig the song, and it's probably, as I mentioned, the best song with the singer on it. I think it's got a great hook to it. But that's Burning Up. That's all I want to say about it. So let's move on to another classic, track 3, which is called... Again, so this guy has just been bottling up all of his emotion for years. You know, he says you can't take back all of those years. And I like what he says, and shots in the dark from empty guns are never heard by anyone. So this guy, it kind of sounds like he has no one really to talk to, because the girlfriend he had on Long Way Down, I guess, was just totally sick of him, you know, and she probably left him, is what it sounds like. So this guy is finally maybe getting the courage to tell somebody what happened, you know. So maybe he's going to start seeing a therapist or something. But it's clearly the case that he's never had a good friend that he trusted to share his problems with. And I guess when he was with his girlfriend, he didn't want to tell her girlfriend any of it, because part of him probably thought, well, you know, she doesn't want to be with some guy who's so messed up, right? Which is something that I've dealt with in my own life. You know, I've gone through some troubles on my own. And, you know, when you're with somebody, and let's say it's a new relationship, you want to appear on the up and up for the most part, right? So unless you've been together for a long time and you're deeply in love, you kind of don't want to give off the appearance that you're struggling or that there's a problem with you or something like that. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but you know, you don't want to show off weakness. So this guy didn't want to show off weakness, is what it sounded like. You know, his behavior suggested that he was really messed up. You know, because when he was making love with his girlfriend, you know, he wasn't showing like any real emotion. He was just kind of going through the motions, as we mentioned. So like everyone's wondering what the heck is wrong with this guy, and he hasn't been able to tell anyone, but now he's finally willing to do it, is what it sounds like. But it's going to be an uphill battle. So that's naked, right? He's now naked in the sense that like he's got no armor on anymore. He's got no defenses on. He's just totally exposed. So yeah, I like the song quite a bit. But that's Naked. So let's move on to another favorite of mine, track 4, which is called Flat Top.
Flat top intervention, bringing home the new invention. See it there in pieces on the ground. A television war between the cynics and the saints. Flip the dial and that's whose side you're on. Sleeping on the White House lawn ain't never changed a thing. Just look at all the washed out hippie dreams. And it's falling all around us. Is this some kind of joke they're trying to pull on us? Falling all around us. I turned my head off for a while.
So yeah, Flat Top is a reference to a television. He's basically talking about this guy. It doesn't seem like he goes out much because maybe, with all of his troubles, he's like paranoid or shy or anxious or something. Maybe he's afraid of other people wronging him. So he's just kind of like a sheltered person. So it sounds like this guy gets most of his exposure to humanity through the television and through news. And of course, the news is all about politics and drama, and everything is going wrong, right? Because bad news sells. So this guy is saying it's all falling. He says it's all falling around us. Is this some kind of joke they're trying to pull on us? I'll turn my head off for a while. So basically, like, this guy's only exposure to real life is through the media, which totally manipulates you, right, into thinking that everything is wrong, So this guy just has like a really warped sense of reality, and when he says he's going to turn his head off for a while, maybe he's like smoking pot or something to feel a little bit better. Who knows what it is. But anyway, that's Flat Top, another just killer song. Just more ear candy as far as I'm concerned. So I'm gonna skip track 5. There's 13 songs in the album, and I don't want to talk about all of them because I don't want this to be crazy long. So we're gonna skip track 5 and talk about the big hit from this album. One of their major songs called Name. So let's check it out.
Scars are souvenirs you never lose. The past is never far. Did you lose yourself somewhere out there? Did you get to be a star? Don't it make you sad to know that life is more than who we are? You grew up way too fast, now there's nothing to believe. Reruns all become our history. A tired song keeps playing on a tired radio, and I won't tell no one your name.
Yeah, so they're kind of beating a dead horse a little bit with this guy and his issues, but it's a beautiful song just all around. And again, they're addressing this guy who he said he grew up way too fast, which is of course a reference to being abused or something when he was a kid, or just experiencing the harshness of life from an early age, right? And he says, reruns become his history. So this guy's life is basically just replaying memories in his head, and it's completely traumatizing him. So this guy just has major PTSD from some sort of childhood trauma. We're not sure literally what it was, but it's something that none of us want to ever go through. And hopefully, I don't know, hopefully this guy gets better somehow by seeing a therapist or something. But he's really messed up. But anyway, this is a beautiful song. You know, it was their big hit from the album, and you could definitely hear why. But I like it a lot. It's a classic kind of post-grunge song. But that's Name. So let's move on to track 7, which is another favorite of mine. It's called Only One.
Must have been a victim of my peers. One is for my happiness, the other for my health. The last is something bigger than myself. I'm the only one. I'm the only one. I'm the only one to say.
Yeah, so this is kind of like the age-old tale, isn't it? You know, a guy who has PTSD for a variety of reasons is tempted by drugs, essentially, drugs or alcohol. And so he feels like a victim of his peers in the sense that, like, he notices other people who are probably damaged are feeling better by, you know, shooting heroin or taking ecstasy or smoking pot or, you know, drinking a cocktail or whatever it is. So this guy just feels like a total victim, not only of his, you know, maybe his parents abused him, but also of his social circles. So this guy doesn't really seem like he has a lot of agency in his life in the sense that, like, you know, he's not very proactive in getting better. But we can't really blame him, right? He's had a rough go of it. So it takes a lot of mental energy to get the courage and to get the motivation to better yourself despite a traumatic past. So anyway, I mean, sonically, again, this song is just like incredible. There's so many songs on this album that could have been singles, in my opinion. But that's all I want to say about track 7. So we're going to skip to another favorite, track 9, which is called Ain't That Unusual.
Could you talk to me honestly? 'Cause I never heard a word you said now, and I ain't just being mean. 'Cause all we are is what we're told. Most of that's been lies. It's like a made-for-TV movie, and I just blew my line. Someday you never made it, maybe you never will. Hey, you never made it, ain't that unusual? Now I feel unknown.
I just love the sound of this song. But what I really like about this clip in particular is when he says, all we are is what we're told, and most of that's been lies. And it's so true, because again, you've got our main character who is not telling anybody the real deal about what's going on with him. So he's been lying to everybody. And, you know, when you think about it, like everyone that you talk to, even close friends and relatives, you know, they almost never actually tell you the real deal about their struggles or their dreams even. They just kind of like, you know, they smile, they put on a show and they smile through their pain and they, you know, they do their niceties and things. But none of us are ever really told the real story of anybody's lives. So, you know, I like that he's going deep a little bit here on the song. And I guess he's saying, ain't that unusual, in the sense of like, isn't that weird that like nobody ever tells the truth? You know, it's pretty rare that somebody tells you the truth, you know. The classic saying is the only people that tell you the truth are children because they don't know any better. But anyway, again, a great song, but that's all I want to say about it. So let's move on to track 11, which is called Eyes Wide Open. Yeah, so I like this song because he's inhabiting the mind of the other side of life, right? The privileged side. And he's talking about people who have literally nothing to worry about. They've got everything going for them. They've got connections, they've got money, they've got all these things. And, you know, the reality of life is you don't feel good, you don't feel satisfied unless you've earned something, unless you've faced a challenge and defeated it. So none of these people have faced any challenges. So like he says, you know, living large on the wrong side of town. What that means to me, that line in particular, is that they chase danger, right, to feel alive. Because it's hard to feel alive when there's literally no challenges in your life. So these people are like purposefully chasing drama and trying to face manufactured danger. And, you know, it's just, it's totally bizarre. And this guy's kind of pointing it out, right? Because you've got our main character who's lived this awful traumatic experience, and he's trying to feel good. But then you've got these guys who feel good all the time, and they're trying to chase some kind of drama and sadness to feel alive. So it's like a weird contrast that I like a lot. But this is, again, this is like just such a killer song sonically. I love it. But anyway, so that's the last track I want to play for you guys. It's my last favorite song on the album. And yeah, that's a boy named Goo for you. It's just sonic. It's like guitar hook city. It's just a sonic assault. You know, it's just so memorable. And, you know, I hope that you guys thought it was interesting or fun at the very least, you know. But as always, feel free to comment with your thoughts and opinions. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? What do you think about the second singer? Did he annoy you? Did he not annoy you? Whatever you have to say, I'll check it out. And if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. It would really help me out. But yeah, that's the Goo Goo Dolls. Check them out and have a good one.